guys. Rear guard, stagger. Hey, what are you doing right there? Hey, don't let him in. You're staggering, guys. Cycle back. What are we doing? Cycle back, right. Hold on. You're threat ready to way through the line. All right, should we try that again from the top? Yeah, your threat walks right through the line. Mark time. Mark. Step. Hey. Step. Hey. Rear guard. All right. Call it. Stagger right. Stagger right. Right. You guys in my town? Good. Yeah. Block him. Out. Cycle back. Help each other out. Come back here, man. Shoots. Call it again. Yeah, you bet. Don't let him pass. Cycle back. That's perfect. Take it out. Hey. All right. That's good. Cycle back. Nope, we're good. We're good.
Good evening. Welcome to Freeform Fridays with us here on Conversations with Taz. Before we jump into everything, hold on, because we do have a few heavy topics to take care of before we get into the blind reacts. But before we move forward with the evening, it is with the somber heart that I must report to you all that actor and climate change activist Jane Fonda has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So please include her in your prayers and well wishes.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, look, Lord, I'm asking you, take the bad ones. Leave the good ones here, please. Goodness. Ay. Ay, Dio. I did not want to hear that this evening, but I guess it's better I know now instead of finding out later. Because, girl, I didn't even know what's her name had passed until what's her face? She died earlier this last month. We were talking about her, and I can't forget. I can't remember her name.
Anne Heche?
No.
Anne Heche?
No. No offense to the Heche family.
Olivia Newton-John?
Yes. I had no clue. I had not a clue. I said, Jesus, these stars is dropping like flies.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, they're no longer spring chickens. But before we get into the nice and bubbly, lovely stuff that is known for Friday night, we do have to do a weekly recap. This one is a little bit lengthy, so get comfortable. And we'll see you in 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And I mean that literally.
You go back and listen to his inaugural address, and then you listen to the way he's talking about Republicans now. I mean, he's not trying to unify the country.
Yeah, but a lot has happened between now and his inaugural address.
I understand, but he ran his campaign on, I'm going to unify the country. Yeah. His message to the nation was, we're all in this together. I'm going to unify the country. And now he's out saying two things. One, lots of y'all are fascists. And by the way, if you vote Republican, there's a decent chance that our democracy is no longer going to exist. These are not unifying messages.
But he can't turn a blind eye to that. I think you and I both agree he's doing it for a place of weakness.
Can the unifying message be that some of what he's saying is true? Because there are a lot of people, I got to tell you, Scott, a lot of folks who go, where's the lie? I don't see no lies detected.
I think there are 70, 80 million Americans who would say, just because I choose to vote Republican doesn't make me a fascist, and it doesn't make me want our democracy.
Scott, I got to be honest with you. He did not call all Republicans fascists. And 80 million Americans, he said MAGA Republicans, and he made it into distinction. And he also pointed out Republicans who were not part of what you're saying. Look, I know it's a good campaign.
Listen, why is it up to Joe Biden to divide up the Republicans? When Republicans go to the voting
he's running.
But listen.
Okay, Scott, listen. No, listen. The former president every single day talks shit about everybody, including other presidents, including members of his own party, probably you on CNN, and now everybody It's all of a sudden they've got the vapors about one statement that Joe Biden made in the entire year and a half of his presidency.
They're not the ones.
It's just, I mean, spare me the.
But Republicans aren't the ones who had Joe Biden out every day saying, "I'm going to unify the country. We're all in this together. We're not enemies."
But so the country is also telling the truth, Scott. He's telling the truth about what is happening in the country for the most part. I'm not saying that everybody's a fascist. Listen, hang on. I'm not even saying, I don't think it was the best thing for him to use that language. But you have to call a thing a thing. You have to call it what it is. You can't, that is unifying by bringing people around to the reality of what is.
If you go to the average Republican, who, I don't know what they consider themselves, whether they're MAGA, regular Republican, whatever, but if you go to the average Republican who went into the voting booth in November 2020 and said, well, I'm going to vote Republican this election, or they're planning to do that in this election, and you tell them, Joe Biden may think that you're a fascist or semi-fascist, whatever that means. He may, we're not sure, but he might think that. And he's also arguing that if you choose to vote Republican, then you're essentially trying to end American democracy. A, it's not unifying. B, it's not within the character of what he said he was going to be. And C, that's not how any average Republican would view themselves.
What you are not understanding is there was no crystal ball in November of 2020. There was no insurrection that was part of the record in 2020. There was no
There was on Inauguration Day.
Yeah, all right.
It just happened.
No, you said in the voting booth. You're saying if you ask any Republican. So there was no insurrection. There was the election is a lie, that Joe Biden is not the duly elected president. There was no denial of reality of what is happening. So I think, yes, in that moment, okay, fine. But that's not what has happened over the last year and a half. Last year and a half, a lot of things have happened. And I say all Republicans who come on CNN, like you and leaders, they've got a lot to answer for because they've made excuses for this president's behavior the entire time he was in office, and now that he's out of office, when it is blatantly obvious that many of the things he did were wrong.
And a Republican response to that would be, look, I might agree with you on a lot of what you say about Donald Trump's behavior and what he has said and done. But that doesn't mean I have to reflexively accept or support what Joe Biden is doing to the country. And that's the choice he's laying out.
I'm not saying that.
That's what he's laying out.
I'm saying I think Republicans in this moment should spare me the hysteria about something that this current president, one thing that he said, when every single day I sat here for 5 years and listened to Donald Trump call country shitholes, call people sons of bitches, made fun of reporters for having, for their disabilities. All kinds of things where he talked about people's mother, where he made fun of Gold Star families. And now all of a sudden Republicans, oh my gosh, he said that there was a semi-fascist tinge to the Republican Party and you get all bent out of shape out of it. I'm just saying have the same energy for Joe Biden or for Donald Trump as you have for Joe Biden when there's something you don't like coming out of his mouth.
The Second Amendment, and I support the Second Amendment. But the Second Amendment, as one of the most conservative justices in history, Justice Scalia once wrote, quote, like most rights, the rights granted by the Second Amendment are not unlimited. They're not unlimited. Right now, you can't go out and buy an automatic weapon. You can't go out and buy a cannon. And for those brave right-wing Americans who say, it's all about keeping America's independent and safe. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale that's used to provide this.
Now, in both of those videos, Joe Biden is falsely being accused of dividing the country and threatening the GOP. First of all, I thought the GOP, especially the conservative ultra-MAGA crowd, were the party of factual feelings that they participate in their feelings. Second of all, Joe Biden in that second clip made a very good point. They keep stating that, hey, we're going to go to war with the United States. We're going to go to war against the country. How? Like they're forgetting what the United States military has and the increasing budget of the United States military. But it's always divisive when it's not them doing the dividing. Are you with us, D-Mac? Are we boring you?
No, I'm just sitting here trying to get somebody's attention. I'm going True Social, trying to get the 45's attention so he can come on the show.
Please do not.
That was a joke, darling. Relax, calm down. I wouldn't do that to us, girl. We would eviscerate him in 5 seconds.
I wouldn't let him on. I wouldn't send him a link. I don't sit at the table with stupid. Last time I did that was last year, and that was a lesson learned.
Yeah, that was a lesson learned the hard way. Baby, listen. See, here's the thing with this, because a lot of people think that we're just sitting here and okay, 2016. Here's how my 2016 started. So, as you know, the campaigns were revving up, especially during the summer and into the fall. And baby, they was going hard and heavy. Both sides. I knew who I was voting for because I knew the risks. I knew the risks at stake. And I got my behind up at 6 a.m. to march over my behind over to the school over here that's next to my house and vote. I did what I needed to do. And the very next day, my post was when we found out that he had won by some stupidity due to these electoral votes, which should be abolished by now. I literally said on my Instagram, prepare, God help us, prepare yourselves. Winter is coming. No lie. And I was like, now we got somebody in here who's at least willing to work on the problems that we have, not just ignore them, enrich myself and ignore the problems, and create more problems. Thank you. I was going to say that, but it slipped my head. I'm getting old. I got to speak to these youngins over here. You got to get them to rejog your memory. What are you cocking your head to the side for?
Not you.
Oh, that's it.
You keep forgetting I have a whole thread because we have Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all watching. So,
okay. Well, hi. And I said, I'm just like, because these people are honest. Because I think I sent you the video this morning of a girl who was discussing another person crying in their comment section, not really, about the student loan shenanigans. And she's just like, first of all, baby, you graduated in 1987 when tuition was 3 goats and a nickel. I nearly passed out. I had to watch it a couple of times because I was laughing this morning. And she's like, I would rather have my taxes go to keeping people off of drugs, to children getting school lunches, to, people actually going to help people instead of going to bomb people, break up regimes and countries, do everything else but what's necessary in this country. That's what I'd rather have my taxes go to.
Utilizing tax dollars to go and steal natural resources from other countries and creating poverty in other countries. Now, one of the most important lessons I learned from my papa, and I know y'all, I quote my papa a lot, but this man was an abundance of wisdom well beyond his age. Because people used to criticize him after all of his children were grown. I'm talking not just out of high school, but out of college, into their own homes, starting their own families, paying their own mortgages. People used to criticize him like, you're always adamant about voting in favor of school levies. This doesn't affect your children anymore. He said, no, but every school levy affects my life just like it affects yours. If we don't properly fund the schools to properly educate these kids, Who's going to be our doctor? Who's going to be our nurses? Who's going to be our therapists? Who's going to be our attorneys? Who's going to be our politicians? And when I tell you that stuck with me so much, and people, when you really look at the breakdown of a lot of things that are passed for all of these socialist programs in order for us to live collectively and healthily within the United States, it's truly pennies on the dollar. For those of us in certain tax brackets, it's pennies on the like. I no longer have to pay property taxes because when my children got grown and were out of the house, I did not want the upkeep of a home. I'm not one of those. I'm not looking for a tax shelter. I like being in a townhome where if something breaks, minus my washer and dryer because they do belong to me, folks can come in and fix it. I don't have to put money down. It's fixed expeditiously. I don't have to call around town and wonder if somebody's sketchy coming into my house because I am a woman and I am Black and I am queer. But I still vote in favor of education because it is important. I don't want to go to the doctor's office and the doctor think that he's playing operation on me.
So, in reference to the townhouses, they don't come with a washer and dryer?
You can get them with the washer and dryer.
Oh, okay.
I did not want the standard model that came.
Oh, okay. Girl, I'm just asking because I was just like, wait, you mean
that 1967 model? It's not literally a 1967 model, but because I do pay for water here, it was not an energy efficient washer dryer. So okay. I did not get it. And you rent, well, where I am, if it's different where other people are, where I am, you pay a rental fee each month for it. But if something goes wrong, that rental fee goes up. That's why I had called you about certain things the other week.
Oh, okay. So
it is time for me to upgrade.
So here's the thing. Let's honestly take a stick a pin, because I know we're gonna get to the funny stuff in a minute. Let's honestly stick a pin in the washers and dryers and refrigerators that were made back in the day, up until at least I'll say the 1990s. Those motherfuckers lasted.
Today, when I was telling you, I finally got to see up close and personal, like a refrigerator from the 60s. Remember I told you, I wonder why we ever got away from that, because it was the most functional. And this
I just saw what you meant.
Yeah, but this person's refrigerator, because I got a neighbor. She been here, like, I think since this whole he was born. So she could bring in more appliances than the rest of us. The rules, of course, have changed over the years. But I got to see her. It is far more functional. And when I say it still works, she's had it serviced 3 times. And the 3 times was, and she admitted it was her fault. She wasn't replacing things in a timely manner. And she's since learned her lesson. You know, you young and dumb thinking, oh, I can save a couple coins. I'm not going to replace this. And yeah, she learned real quick. Go pay the $5 and replace this instead of paying hundreds of dollars to get this fixed. But when I tell you the crisper was really a crisper.
Girl, when I saw the refrigerator, I was just like, the space, the actual functionality of, I was like, why did we defer? Why?
Oh, and Brittany made a good point, because I used to tease my daddy growing up, and I'm so upset that this microwave finally
hit the bricks.
I think the microwave had favorites, because the microwave died with my mama, and I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to like do dark humor. It literally did. Like, my mama died on this day, the microwave died on the next day. But we used to joke, because my daddy would get mad because there would be one button, because it was like the first touch tone where it was like just a bubble and you touched it. Well, my daddy and my brothers were heavy-handed, so sometimes one button wouldn't work, but usually it was like the 0 button. So just watch it to, hit it. And I said, Daddy, you got to realize this microwave older than us. Before we were like, I was like, this microwave about to graduate high school. And then when we all got in high school, well, the younger of the siblings, I was like, this microwave about to graduate college. And my daddy used to laugh, but it lasted. I think the microwave just liked my mama more than he liked that. Yeah, I called him a he because he has some he-man woman hater tendencies from time to time. I just think he didn't like us and decided, well, she gone. I'm not heating nothing else up for y'all.
Cause like,
Just
okay,
my granny's microwave was so old. You know, when it got to the point where you had the little button where you could push and the microwave door would pop open. Hers was still, you had to pull open. My auntie still got it. And it came with like the attachments for like bacon crisping, and it came with a whole cookbook. And I said, we don't get cookbooks nowadays, and it's smaller. Like when I was growing up, you could literally put, I'm not saying you should, but you could take like a family size, I'm talking about like holiday size turkey or ham, and be able to fit it in there. Because I remember taking my mama's big mixing bowl. Y'all don't judge me, okay? I love me some macaroni and cheese, okay? And I love mashed potatoes. And I know you're not supposed to eat starches, but screw your life, I'm gonna eat it, okay? I got one life. I'm not gonna be on my deathbed like I should have had the macaroni and the mashed potatoes and gravy. No, I'm gonna have it every time. And I used to take a big mixing bowl, and I would put like paper plate down the middle and literally fill one half with macaroni and cheese and one half with mashed potatoes and gravy. Yes, I know it's a miracle that I don't look like Rasputia, but praise the ancestors. Although I want my thickness to come through, but okay, ancestors, we're gonna work this out. And I could fit the whole bowl in there. Now the microwave that I have, be happy if you can fit a full-size dinner plate in there at this point.
Cause like, okay, I'll say this. When we moved into this house in 1996, there was a washing machine that we had there. Now that thing worked. Now that thing had been here up until probably since I want to say probably since the 1960s, 70s when that thing was in here, because it still worked. It still worked a day. We ain't had no problems. And they had a dryer. Now, funny thing is, they had the washing machine upstairs with the dryer downstairs.
A lot of people did that because of the water line.
I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, okay.
This is what I was told. When it's not on the like below the surface floor, the water drains more and faster, and it takes less power to dry it because your clothes are basically dry by the time you take them out the washing machine. That's what I was told.
So, the carrying the clothes from downstairs down, upstairs, downstairs, they would get some way dry by the time I put them in the dryer. So by the time that broke, I want to say I was in my my fourth year of college. So it had lasted us a good moment. So we was in here for a good another 6 years. So it had lasted. When the family left it was still working. And then when we got here,
I feel like, and a lot of y'all not gonna know what I'm talking about. If you never had a Williamson heating and cooling furnace, you don't really know what good is. If you didn't have to check the pilot light or learn how to light the pilot light at your house, you ain't had good, efficient heating. And I wish they would bring those type of heaters back. And them heaters, baby, you wasn't running out of hot water. You could be in that shower for 11 years.
Like the water heater I have now, like the one I have now, and the furnace I have down there, I think whoever made these took that into account, because I've never run out of hot water since my dad did the installation of it. I think they took that into account.
Specifically about Williamson Heating and Cooling is because my daddy used to work for Williamson Heating and Cooling. And where the building is now a Crossroads mega church.
Good
but
Lord.
I remember riding with my mom, and I used to love to ride with him when we were down to one car to go pick him up from work. Because if y'all ever saw an officer and a gentleman and they panned the outside before they went in, the outside of that looked like that. So imagine, and my parents were so cute and so in love. So I would go because he would come out and he would see my mom and get the biggest smile, and just imagine that backdrop, and he would walk up and he would go, "Hey, Lady Di," and they would just give each other the cutest little hug. They would like look around like, "Ooh, is we doing something wrong?" and give each other like the cutest hug, like they weren't supposed to be hugging, like they was back in middle school or something, like trying to sneak a hug. Fully married, mortgage, kids, everything, dog back at the house, bills to pay. But my parents were so cute, and I used to love doing it because that's what the factory looked like. And I'm sad that once the company shut down, they were so quick to tear it down for this mega church, because I'm like, you could have kept the original building and left us with that. And the original building actually had more space than what they got going on now, because Crossroads is going to hate me for this. But if you're a member of Crossroads, y'all do realize y'all can only have about 50 people at your wedding, because you have to get married in the chapel. You can't get married in the hall that they have the speakers at. Well, we got 2 more serious videos we need to go through. Then we're going to go to the ad. Then we're going to come back and have some fun, because it's been a stressful week. Now, we all know, I'm just going to start calling it the Trump files, okay? If you're old enough to remember the X-Files, this is going to be the Taz version of that, because this is some extraterrestrial, extracurricular BS that Trump got going on. But this one is this is a quickie. This is a quick. Don't blink. Don't blink. I'm not even gonna pull us out of the stream because it's so quick. Because by the time I will pull us out, I got to pull us back in. So here we go.
Fuck, I was right. I was right. He's still got more information. He still has classified information that he has not turned over. They released the detailed list. 48 empty packets classified. They're labeled as classified. There are 48 that's just gone. Because they can match that. They're gone. Where the fuck are they? That's why he wants the special master. It's a delay tactic. He's sold this shit. And he's trying to slow down the investigation. Fucking arrest him already.
Yeah, and the special master would have to have such a clearance, such a class. It would have to
Maryland would have to sign that.
Yeah, he and 2 people who know what I do for a living and who have known that since before I started my business, and I used to work for a firm that used to do bank audits. So from way back then, in my mid-20s to now me being in my mid-40s, have I had to have my fingerprints taken? All these, but yes. Can y'all please stop getting in comment sections and DMing me like, why don't you apply to be the special master? 1, no. I enjoy a level of ignorance when it comes to our top secrets, when it comes to espionage, because I understand a level of espionage has to happen under the eyes of the United States government in order to keep us safe. Do I really want to have to deep dive into that? No. Do I want to pull back the curtain? No. Please stop. I am not a member of military. I am not a politician. I have zero desire to be any of that. And as a Black person, I don't want to be anywhere near something called master. I don't even call my main bedroom in my house the bedroom. Don't play with me.
I just call it the main room. That's what I call it.
That's what I call it. I call it the main bedroom. Actually, I just call it the bedroom because the second bedroom is my office. So, oops, hold on. I forgot to plug in the charger.
The charger.
Okay, our final serious one, also a quick one, a little quicker than the last one. But when y'all like to say, and by y'all, I mean white supremacist, and hey trolls, I see y'all, thank you for the views. When y'all say, oh, racism is dead, nobody's teaching their kids racism, here we go in 4K, and shouts out to the big sister for recording this and putting it out for all of us to see. Faites attention, s'il vous plaît.
It matters.
About what?
The color of his girlfriend. It matters to mommy.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Jacob. What did you say?
I said 1. why do I want to get a girlfriend? And 2, does it matter to be with her color, like the skin of her?
She wants white. I want white. Does it matter?
I'm gonna tell you a whole bigger conversation, because Mama is so into her racism. She didn't catch something, and if you watch the sister caught it, and the sister is gonna keep raising hell, make sure that her little brother does not grow up to be racist. But that young man said, "Why do I have to have a girlfriend, Mama? You got bigger fish to fry." Why does skin color matter? And you couldn't even answer the question to him why skin color matters. That she just got to be white for what? Because he's a little boy. You could tell he's like in primary school. So he ain't popping out no babies. Hopefully, they're not doing that in primary school. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in primary school. I don't know what these kids is doing nowadays, but everybody keeps saying they get more and more advanced. I'm not wishing nothing on nobody, but every time I say, "Oh, they're not doing this at this age," somebody pops up with receipts going, "Yes, they are." But this young man said, "Why do I have to have a girlfriend?" So he could be asexual, he could be bisexual, he could be homosexual, he could be queer. And my thing is, baby, if you need some motherly love or a motherly hug, you and your big sister, shorty, come my way. I got you.
It just here's the thing, and I get that some, not all. Again, I have to preference this and say some, not all, want the best for their children. I'm not negating that. But don't push what you wanted to do in your life onto your children. That's where I draw the line. That's where I have an issue.
Sure.
Just because of your dreams of what you wanted to do were dashed because, things happened in your life. Don't push that's not my, if that's not my dream, don't push it on me. Let me discover what I want to do on my own. Then encourage that. That's what I'm encouraging parents to do. Find out what they like to do. Hey, it could be collecting comic books, and you don't know where that could lead them.
And here's the thing. This is what I've learned. I'm not the oldest. I'm not the wisest, but I have picked up some nuggets along the way.
On the God's good internet.
Huh?
Don't sit here in my. I said that's not the one I was speaking about.
Oh, the wisest.
Don't
no, because you and I both know. You and I both know. I got to be honest and call a spade a spade. There are some times where even you look at me like, "What is wrong with your brain today?" Because there are some times I say or do some stuff that's pretty stupid. It's I'm gonna admit it. Now it's not often. It's not an everyday thing, but I gotta admit it, and I'm not gonna give people a false sense of who I am. Don't run up to me on the street and you happen to see me doing something stupid and be all shocked and for Clint. No, I told you from time to time I do dumb stuff. But here's the thing that I've learned. I never thought, oh, my kids are gonna grow up to do this, or I just let them figure out their own thing. Even now, if they could be 60 and still trying to figure out their life. But one thing that I've learned, when they're happy, there's no stopping them. And it's when they do their best work. And I'm gonna tell you, that's when I puff out my chest and people go, "Oh, well, you convinced them to do that." No, that's not why I'm puffing out my chest. I'm puffing out my chest because I'm their greatest cheerleader. And when you the head cheerleader and your team is winning, can't nobody tell you nothing. And I'm telling you, I don't care if nobody else thinks that my team is winning. My team is winning. My team is full of Pro Bowl champs, Super Bowl champs. They got 5 million rings in my eyes, okay? And that doesn't mean I ignore missteps or bad decisions. No, not what I'm saying. We learn from those and we move on. I just don't get stuck on them. I'm not going to sit here and ridicule none of my sons or daughters for something they did last month, let alone 10 years ago. But I am going to consistently remind them, when they accomplished something that they didn't think that they could do. And not only did they accomplish it, they knocked that shit out the park. Yeah, I'm gonna remind you every day. You didn't think that you could make that purse. Guess what? You made the purse and it was better than it was. You didn't think you could get that job. Guess what? You got that job and you got promoted in a week. And yeah, that's what we gonna do. But let's get this ad rolling and let's get to the good part. Okay, you know what? I need to just stop listening to sound clips. But we'll see you in 2 and 2, y'all. Go grab a snack, go potty. Send your friends over here. Tell them to buy the merch. Because mama need a new bag.
Style. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.
Whoops. Hey. Ooh. Kind of feel like Fat Albert right now. Maybe because during the ad I was munching on a old choppy chop. Don't judge me. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Now, we have some blind reacts. We have some nuggets of information, and we have some am I the assholes that people have sent. Now, the nuggets of information, the am I the assholes, are new, but let's have fun with them. I have not gone through these beforehand, so let's get it.
Told me the music that I play while making love is weird and a major turn off. A little backstory. When I first started making love, I researched into ways to be better as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. I searched love making songs and started slowly creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist, but it's one song in particular, which actually happens to be my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and say turns her off in a major way. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's a good love-making song with good rhythm. I feel the way I messed up is I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes the playlist or any song she'd like to add or change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking our love-making life is great but in her eyes has been ruined by my music has left the whole situation feeling awkward and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much played this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it. When I thought the complete opposite is annoying but also embarrassing in ways, not to mention my previous partners. However, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her. It's messed up the relationship, to be honest, because making love feels awkward now. The other day we were making love with no music but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was perfect and I always thrust along with the tune and feel it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the deed too. I usually bust to this song and find it devastating she hates the song. Here is that song.
This can't be real. And he said he's into the rhythm, not the beat. Because the beat, I'm like, okay, I could get that. That's a steady, but I have seizures. And I don't want somebody to make boom boom time. Wait a minute. There's a part 2 to this. And he said other partners? What? Now I see why they're past part. This is why I be scared of y'all blonde reacts. Here we go.
I really am thankful I possibly missed that.
Yeah. It was traumatizing, and I'm not gonna take you back to. Let's just go to the nugget of information that somebody sent us. Because I don't even know what commentary to give to that. Let's go.
So was no one going to tell me that Granny from the Looney Tunes was a spy for the Allies during World War II, who fought the Yazidis in German-occupied France? And she spent the last night of their occupation fucking them up in order to stop them from stealing the Eiffel Tower. And this is also the origin story of how she met Tweety Bird, who was filling in for messenger pigeons while the Allies were having a shortage of them. Side note, this penguin was also doing the same thing. It didn't go well. But even Tweety Bird was getting in on the action. By the end of the episode, they were helping her fuck up the Yahtzee commander. Honestly, this version of the Looney Tunes is underrated.
Wait a minute.
I love younger listeners, but y'all never paid attention to the fact that Granny was unwavered by Sylvester, that Tweety was always fucking up Sylvester like a trained assassin. Do y'all miss crossover episodes with Granny and Tweety where Granny was out there doing the thing as an octogenarian? Granny was Sophia Petrillo before there was a Sophia Petrillo. She just didn't have a Dorothy Spornak or Blanche Devereaux or Rose Nyland.
Yes, she did. They were the animals she would constantly be taken care of.
And Sylvester was Stanley Zbornak. And if y'all don't know that the Golden Girls got last name, and if you do not know who Stanley is, get off my unsubscribe and move on. And I mean it. I'd rather have one subscriber and one viewer than somebody who did. Because I'm probably sure y'all don't know that the Cedric the Entertainer joke about Bominicious came from Designing Women, where Anthony was sitting there and talking to Suzanne Sugarbaker about their relationship and how she doesn't pay attention. And he told the story of Bominicious, where he was like, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. When I first came here to work, I told you to call me by my initials. You too young, child. You can't get over this game. All right, here we go. Another blind react. Let's get it.
What's the worst insult you've ever received? I looked like my mother and father are the same person. I hope both sides of your pillow are warm tonight.
Nah.
That's a fight talk.
Yeah.
That's a fight talk. The best part of you ran down your mother's legs.
No!
That's an insult. A kid poked me in the belly and said, "Wibble wobble." Wibble wobble.
Nah.
My eyebrows have no curve.
First of all, I'd have threw hands with that kid. Brittany said the things she learned on this show. Yeah, you got Brittany, baby. You know your mama's head is full of just a plethora of facts, whether it's pop culture facts, historical facts. Like I was sitting here with Janelle, and I can't think of the second movie that we started watching, but the guy was pretending to know like the history of cigarettes, and I was like, no, cigarettes were created by a United States tobacco heir who was trying to compete with the cigar industry. And I was like, why do I know this? Why do I know this?
Disrespectful.
But I
Disrespectful.
would have thrown hands with the kid that would have poked me in the stomach and said wobble wobble. Now, my niece that's about to go to college. When the Bratz dolls first came out, my daughters were obsessed with it. They really weren't feeling Barbie, but they liked the Barbie houses, Barbie cars. So I would buy Barbie accessories, but Bratz dolls and all the stuff that went along with it. When they felt that when they outgrew them, and that's when they started getting into, anime, comic books, gaming like me, they gifted it to her. And this child, for years, watched the doll. If you haven't been on my Instagram to see, like, when I post nuggets from my old portfolio of modeling, I get where she gets it from. But she's also petty. And I was like, what do you mean? There was one day I was feeling extra cute, right? And I decided to ask her, what do you mean, precious? This heifer said, you're looking real plastic. Are you related to the Kardashians? I forgot we were related. I was about to square up with her, and she was like 10 years old. When I tell you I slid out of my shoes and my jewelry, and I was about to rock her shit.
Get on to the next. Because if I say what I'm gonna say, you may lose your niece tonight.
Well, we got more. We got a lot of them. Here we go.
You killed 4 children during a tour of a chocolate factory? I mean, I wouldn't say it like that. Your Honor, this man drowned a little boy in chocolate, turned a young girl into a giant blueberry, dropped another girl in a trash chute, and then shrunk a boy to the size of an ant. Let's hear from the survivors. Well, Your Honor. Grandpa Joe, no one was talking to you, bitch! I'd like to hear from Charlie. I mean, yeah, it was like a kid version of Saw, but he's giving me the entire chocolate factory, so I don't think he's that bad a guy. Tight, still murder. Mr. Oompa Loompa, is your boss a murderer? Oompa Doompa Doompity bitch. You're high as fuck if you think that I'll snitch. You could be looking at up to 12 years in prison if you don't cooperate. Yeah, he totally did it. It was him. He made us write songs about it. You sick son of a bitch. Okay, I think I've heard enough. Bailiff, please put Mr. Wonka into custody. But Your Honor, don't butt me, bitch! This is exactly why kids shouldn't take candy from grown-ass men. Ha ha. Pure imagination. That is not your slogan, bitch!
I mean, Willie only gave up ownership of his company to skate through liability for all them kids he offed during that tour. And the fact that he stole a whole... He stole a whole race of people to come work for him.
Next. I'm not saying nothing.
Reading complaints from my comment section. Part 11. Oh my god. I managed a Papa John's. A guy ordered 2 pizzas, normal sauce, 2 toppings, demanded a refund because they weren't cooked because tomato sauce was still red. Back when I worked for Subway, we had a family that would complain if I made their food because they thought they could catch my Tourette's. I worked for the motocross side of Red Bull, and a woman got violent because we wouldn't sell her Red Bull to her 2-year-old. Oh, we got a bomb threat at the animal ER for making a stable patient wait while we tried to stabilize real emergencies and dying patients. Worked 2 jobs, toy store and DIY store. He complained I shouldn't have knowledge about both shops as I'm a female. I work at a concert venue, and this woman who had been there for over 30 minutes, she complained that the music was too loud and demanded a refund. I used to teach swimming lessons. I had a dad get mad at me and yell because I didn't teach his kid how to outswim a shark. What the f? I was working at a vegan restaurant and had a customer send his food back because it tasted too good. It must have had something non-vegan in it. Anytime I eat vegan food, my body feels amazing. Anytime I eat normal food, I feel like absolute shit. I'm sorry for the language. I'm just very annoyed with all of these people. I'm not vegan. I just want you all to take care of yourselves, please. I work at a jeans store, and I recently had a guy storm out and call corporate because I wouldn't pay for his $200 jeans when he didn't have his wallet. Who pays for $200 jeans? Guy gave our hotel a 1-star because a tornado knocked out the satellite TV. He mentioned tornado in the review. Lady who got so mad she drove back and came inside and wanted a manager or person in charge to make her a new sandwich because it wasn't cut in half. We rent out our beach house. One couple complained that they couldn't see the ocean at night. Worked at a warehouse about 45 minutes drive from my place. Customer asked why we can't shift the warehouse closer to our homes. I worked for a city councilor. A lady called wanting bylaw enforcement to come out because her neighbors painted their fence a color that clashed with her flower beds and was going to ruin her garden party. And at number 15, I once had a guy get mad he couldn't order food while our restaurant was literally on fire.
Now, the because you're a woman part, my second job ever, I worked in electronic game at a toy store that can't decide if it wants to come back or not. The amount of people who would not take my recommendations or listen to me because I was a girl was astounding. And then they get home and be pissed that when I would ask them what they're interested in or the age of the person that they're buying the game for, that it didn't fit by the time they gave the gift or got home, because they didn't think that I would know what I'm talking about because I'm a girl, even though I was placed in that department. I alternated between books, duh, and electronic games, duh. Yeah. Alrighty, we got another Am I the Asshole? Let's go.
Am I the asshole for firing an employee after she did a no-call no-show 3 days in a row, even though it was an emergency? So I own a small business with about 30 employees total. My dad started the business in his 20s and passed it on to me when he died 6 years ago, so I've been running things ever since. I like to think I'm tough but fair to my employees, and I'll help you out if you need it, but don't F with me or take advantage of my kindness. Anyway, this employee, Julie fake name, in question was with the company for 11 years and used to work swing shifts, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. This past Sunday, she doesn't show up. I call and text her many times but no answer, so I gave up. I was really annoyed because I got stuck working that night as I keep a bear crew every shift because it's a lot cheaper that way, so there was no one to cover. So the next day I come in around 10 a.m. cause I worked late and apparently I had a missed call from Julie's sister. I didn't call her back because I was just annoyed at the situation and figured if it was an emergency she'd call back. She did call back around 11:30 and well, apparently Julie's husband was in a bad car accident very early Sunday morning and he died. She said Julie would not be in for the rest of the week, possibly longer, as she's supposedly catatonic. Her word, TBH. I felt bad. But at the same time, he apparently died Saturday night/Sunday morning. That gave her at least 12 hours to send me some type of heads up about her not showing up. Either way I decided to be nice and excuse her for the no call she was going to do that day, Monday. But I told the sister that if she did another no call/no show the next day, Tuesday, she'd be fired. She was kinda silent for a second and then said, "She's not doing a no call, I'm calling right now," and I said that the only person who can call out for Julie is Julie, and if she doesn't bother to contact me, then it will be a NCNS. Julie's sister got pretty hysterical and said how I'm apparently heartless and her husband just died and she can't even get out of bed and had to be bathed by her sister, TMI, and on and on. When I just repeated myself, she snapped, "She won't effing be in," and hung up on me. Well, Julie didn't show up yesterday, so she has officially been terminated. Like, I feel bad, but I'm sorry. My job is to run my business and this was actively preventing me from doing so. My number one priority is my company, as it should be, and I just don't think I'm the bad guy here for that, especially after how disrespectful they both have been to me for no reason. Even though a couple of my employees have definitely been icy to me since yesterday, and I'm sure it's because of all this BS. Am I the asshole here?
Before you say anything,
I'm too stunned to speak at this point, so please take the wheel.
let me, so you can see my face. Because I'm sitting on my bed, not my chair, so my bed's a bit higher. Okay. See, I'm conflicted for two things. One, I understand the employee. You know, that being that sudden, I don't think anybody would be that mentally coherent. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. Nobody. Like, at all. My only thing is as the sister called and said, it's like, hey, look, he just died like Saturday into Sunday morning. She's like not here. Her brain is not fully functioning right now. So I'm in effect calling out for her. So if he couldn't extend her a leave of absence or something, you know, I get that you didn't have anybody to run your business, you know, whatever. But don't take it out on her. The only thing that I'm conflicted about is I'm just like, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, sir. So I'm a little confused by you, but I get where you're going. But you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
He's doing the same thing that the PPP loan people did. He said he's running a skeleton crew because it's more profitable for him. He doesn't care about employees. He will run them ragged. And this is the person who's doing the swing shift, which means this is the person who will work 6 hours before she gets a 15-minute break, let alone a lunch break or anything else. Also, you're breaking federal law because where did you offer her FMLA? And in that extreme of an emergency, that's not a no call, no show. Because when my mother passed away, my granny, I couldn't get through to my dad. Now, my cousin knows it. Until my dad retired, he worked for the government. I couldn't get through to him. The number that I had, I guess multiple people were trying to call at the same time. I'm not going to say that they were from our family. It could have been anything. This is a place that, hires thousands of people at one location. Granny, and we know how Granny was. That woman worked some miracles. Got through. And before she had them put Daddy on the phone, she explained to them, do not tell him I will break the news. When my grandma passed away, like, hey, he's not going to be in for a while. Like, this is his mother. Y'all see how he was with his wife? This is his mother. He ain't going to be in for a while. He needs to leave. His children need him. His siblings need him. And because everybody in the family is on the roster for one church where him and my uncle went from one being the pastor to the other, we had to get my dad in the right mindset to deliver his own mother's eulogy. And as a business owner, sir, you are below the scum of the earth. You have hit the earth's core and you're boiling in lava. You ought to be thanking your lucky stars that there was not a Starbucks union-worthy walkout and you still have employees. If you decide to run a skeleton crew and somebody cannot make it into work, guess whose responsibility it is to fill in? You. It is your business. At the end of the day, it is your livelihood as a whole that's being sustained. Because I don't give a damn how much you pay your employees. They gonna need something else in order to live the way that you're living off of the work of their backs. Before I alienate myself from the rest of the entrepreneurs, let's go on to the next Blind React.
Top 10 people I never want to go to a restaurant with because the amount of negativity that's in their soul makes me want to jump through a wall. Let's go. A lady sent her burger back because it had sesame seeds on the bun, which she insisted are made from pork, and she didn't eat pork. We all started doubting our own sanity after a few minutes of back and forth, but rest assured, folks, there is indeed no pork in sesame seeds. I worked at a seafood restaurant that had a grilled salmon Reuben on the lunch menu. A lady at the bar sent it back immediately because she didn't know it had fish in it. They sent back a vanilla iced coffee because it was brown and vanilla is white. I had someone send fettuccine alfredo back because it was too spicy. Now that's white. Someone asked for a full refund when I worked at Taco Bell because I was too chipper at 2 a.m. and they didn't like my face. We used to sell freshly baked bread as a sharing loaf. A customer complained that it tasted as if it had been in an oven. A customer came into my sushi hibachi restaurant and ordered steak tartare and then sent it back because, why would you give me a plate of raw meat? I wanted it well done. I'm calling the health inspector about this. You can't serve paying customers raw meat like this. A guy got mad that he was served too much food since his portion of brunch potatoes was bigger than what the table next to him got. He asked to speak to the manager, me, to complain about it and made me take his plate back and bring it back with fewer potatoes. I worked in banquets at a hotel. The server requested a vegetarian plate for a guest who didn't eat meat. I made her a vegetarian meal, and the guest sent it back because she wanted fish. She didn't ask for fish. She just thought if she said she didn't eat meat, we would give her fish instead. Fish wasn't even being served at the event. I'm going to need you to mentally prepare yourself for what number 10 is. Number 10, they messed up cutting their burger in half and now they can't post it on Instagram. Why?
I witnessed the last one. I have witnessed the last one. And we know I have a new favorite restaurant. And fortunately, I have been able to meet the owner, who's a lovely gentleman. I love all of the staff there. But a table right next to us, they messed up. Now, the way this restaurant plates their food is very picturesque. If I wasn't such a hungry motherfucker and a fat bitch at times, I would take pictures of it for y'all. But I don't. My cousin will tell you, if I'm going to eat, I'm focusing on eating. I can't take pictures. I'm not doing reviews. I'm sorry. My brain doesn't go to that. Now, after it's all done, I'm like, oh shoot, I should have told the people about it. Then you just get a video from me of me explaining to you the experience and hey, if you're in the area, go to this place. They're awesome. But there was a couple who decided to share food and had already swapped the food onto each other's little plates, right? It was like, this doesn't look great. This doesn't look appetizing. When does it ever when you're sharing food? If you got a bit of this, 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 a bit of this on a plate, what's gonna look good? It's gonna look good to you because you want to eat it. Okay. This next one, I'm gonna pull us from the feed because I need y'all to pay attention to this one. I was told to watch this before I posted it. And really the person who submitted it just wants everybody's reaction to this. I know what my cousin's reaction is going to be. I ain't even shocked about this. But it's 3 videos. Bear with us. It's it's going to be worth it. And I know me and my cousin have both been through this. But y'all tell me if y'all been through this too. Maybe not to this extent, but you'll catch what I'm putting down. Here we go.
Am I the a-hole for bringing my sister-in-law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? My sister-in-law Amy always comes to visit from out of town. She stays with us instead of a hotel, and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet, or comes up with some excuses as to why she can't pay her share. She has implied that since I make much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. No, not my husband should pay, but me specifically. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can treat someone every time they come into town. Nonetheless, in the past, I have just paid the bill and asked her to pay me back. She never has. She had made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear that I wouldn't be paying her bill. This is where I might be the asshole, and I'll admit I got this move straight from an episode of 2.5 Men. As we were leaving, her and my husband went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse and we went to the restaurant. When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills. She said no, we need one bill, because she forgot her wallet again. I reached in my purse and said, "This wallet?" She was extremely furious. She said that I should not have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the a-hole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? This is Amy. My friend told me they saw this post and everyone is saying I am a leech. The thing my sister-in-law did not tell you all is she has no problem paying for her own sisters and she always singles me out and expects me to always pay. She takes her sisters to restaurants and never makes them pay. Ever since she is with my brother is so cheap. He used to always help me and my mom because we don't have a lot of money and he's stopped doing that ever since he's with her. He used to always help me and my mom with our bus tickets to come visit to see him and to visit my niece. Now he always says he doesn't have money. So maybe I am wrong for always forgetting my wallet, but it's not fair that she always pays for her own sisters but not for me. She would never take her sister's wallet and embarrass her at a restaurant trying to make her pay. Taking my wallet and sneaking it to the restaurant when she can afford to pay for things is so messed up. In our culture the older sibling always pays. She is so cheap. My brother told me that her bonus on 3 months at her job was $35,000. That's her bonus. Not even including her regular pay. Why can't she just treat me? Why does she have to only treat her sister and make me look like a bad person when I expect the same treatment as her sisters and she has so much money to waste? I hope people don't think I'm an a-hole when they learn more about the situation. Wow, I can't. My sisters are in university working their asses off to pay their own tuition, so yes, I treat them occasionally. They don't come to my house expecting me to pay for everything. How much money I earn is not anyone's damn business. How I spend my money is not anyone's damn business. My husband is cheap now because we have a mortgage to pay and a child to take care of. I also didn't have much money to my name at a time in my life, but I never mooched off of anyone or expected anyone to pay my way. Not even my own parents. You figure that out on your own. Get the hell off my post and go complain to someone who cares. Fortunately, this post turned out to be a good thing. DH has always had it in his head that Amy is a good person and has her reasons for being sneaky and cheap, like I mentioned above. In his head, it's not her fault she is the way she is, it's the circumstances of their upbringing that cause her to make bad decisions. But, seeing Amy's reply to my post and people's response to Amy has really changed his thinking. That's the first time Amy has outright admitted that she's purposely taking advantage. Reading some of the other comments has also been eye-opening for him. So, DH has told Amy that she's not welcome here, at least not for a long while. Thanks for lots of NTAs, but I liked one commenter's "sometimes it's okay to be the ass." I think that's exactly what it was here. It was an ass move, but also outweighed by Amy's assholery. Thanks again. This is the end of this. I won't be giving any more updates or comments.
Now, see, I hate when people tell other people how to spend their money. Because I had somebody last year come at me and was like, "I bet you bought your cousin a Christmas gift, but you didn't buy me one." And like, I have a friend. Yeah, I didn't confirm or deny. I was just like, you know who it was, and I'm like, "Bitch, I don't like you." But here's the thing, like, I have, and my cousin knows who I'm talking about. I have a good sister friend. We sisters from different sisters, but she's had my back through so many things, and she's my comfort sister. Okay, we're the ones that go to live shows and stuff together and everything else. And there was one time she's like, "Oh, I don't have no money. I know you already bought my ticket, and I normally give you the money back. Just sell the ticket, girl. You coming with me? Because I'm not gonna come without you there." Like, yes, the rest of the sisterhood will be there, but it's not gonna be the same. And as much as she's done for me over the years, a $20 ticket actually is $10 for me. Ain't gonna break me. Like, we coming, and the whole time there, I'm like, "Girl, look, I'm ordering something to eat. Order something to eat. It's dinner time. We all hungry. Get something." And it's because she doesn't accept it. She's not counting my money. Just like me and my siblings, we know how much each other make. We know when bonuses come through. We don't, and you know this story, cousin. When my oldest son had his birthday party, and for once, it was my bad. I left all my cards at home and took cash. And everybody was mad at me, like, "Well, why didn't you ask your siblings for this?" Da, 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 da. No, I just called Frenchie, like, "Just bring me my card, and I'll pay for this right here." Now, did my youngest brother pull up, and he was like, "We not waiting. Take this money." And he got so pissed at me, he grabbed the bill and was like, "I'm paying for it." He was like, "As many times as you done paid for stuff, I'm paying for it. Shut up. This is what," there's a difference. Like, when you try to play people and force them to do it, because there are people I will not talk to this day. My first trip to Chicago, y'all, I had bitches, and I mean bitches. And you know I don't refer to women this way. But I had bitches get mad at me because I wasn't paying for gas on the way back. Let me explain to y'all what I paid for on this Chicago trip. The suite that we were in. Dinner for all of us twice. Dinner for another girl who was supposed to pay me back. And souvenirs for everybody. If you thought I was about to pay for gas coming back, and you're talking about shit being cheap. Oh, now I'm cheap, and I'm petty. They forgot I still had the bag with everybody's souvenirs in it. I hadn't divvied them up yet. And when I tell you, we stayed on, anybody who's familiar with Chicago, we stayed on Michigan Avenue. That was not a cheap suite. And there were 6 of us. Did nobody sleep on the couch?
Girl, I'm telling you that I went to Chicago we went to this was a summer program, and we went to college, like basically seeing colleges, and we went to Chicago. Girl, that hotel that they took us to, Girl, I was afraid to touch anything in there. I was afraid to touch anything in there.
But see, one of my mama's good friends, her granddaughter was going to school up in Chicago. So I had a double reason for being there. Like, it was a birthday trip for me and another good friend of mine. And she wasn't one of those, I'm not referring to her as one of them bitches. She was like, nah, she was like, I brought extra gas money to get us back because I knew everything that Taz was putting down for it. And one of the dinners I paid for was an upscale restaurant because I needed to check on this young lady. And I was like, she don't want to admit that she's struggling. And I had money that was sent with me to give to her to make sure she would eat. You know what I mean? But I'm like, doing a damn thing up here. She's going to school, trying to get off her music career, all this other stuff, doing it on her own. I know what it's like to be a struggling college student. I'm like, let me take her out to a nice dinner. And then I bought extra entrees for everybody to pack up to bring back. We talking about a stack on dinner alone.
Like I said, because see, God, I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it. My family, especially my dad's side of the family, they are, how can I put this?
And before y'all get messy in the comments, I'm not that side of the family. Don't do it.
No, this is my dad's side of the family. This not my mom's. My mom's side of the family, they know the value of a dollar. They know how to, well, most of them, not all, but most of them know, especially.
We'll pitch that till it screams.
No. But see, okay, so I'm gonna put it in context of this. So my mom, before my dad passed, was like holiday seasons were always big to do in this household. Even when we were on. Now, the only time I can honestly say my mom did not have a boatload of people in her home was when we were in between homes, because we were in the process of moving, but we needed some place to stay because, you know, we couldn't stay where we were at. So we were in an apartment for 1 year, and that was 1995, 1996. We were in the house where I'm at right now. And anytime at all my mother has cooked or done anything, especially even if it's just Thanksgiving or Christmas or her anniversary or my dad's birthday, because both of them are in January, so they just generally combine them. My dad's side of the family has come over, sat, ate, had a good old funky time. But then we'll go over to my grandmother's house or to their own homes and complain. Why is she spending all this money? This, that, and the third. Then why did you come?
And they always take plates with them. So as they sitting there complaining, why she spend up? Because didn't we talk about Cousin Pam the other day?
Because I'm just
had them in the car, then come in, eat 4-5 plates, have her kids eat 4-5 plates, then leave and complain. I don't know why they spent all that money. Oh, they trying to prove that they better than us. No, we're just trying to feed everybody. We're jovial people. We want to share. That's why, and thanks to my good cousin, I have scaled back on the holidays. And you know I have. I went from, everybody can come, to now it's just me and the kids. And a few of my extended babies.
Because like one Thanksgiving year, when I tell you, if I had charged at least $25 a plate,
y'all gotta pay the mortgage off for the whole next couple years.
My cousins. So here was the breakdown. So 7 to 10 o'clock, I had my mother's family. Then we had 3 to 5. We had my mother's family. 3 to 7, we had a mixture of my mother's family and my father's family. Then that set left. 10 to about like 10 to about 11, we had my dad's side of the family just show up after, it had been hours, the food had been out. And then finally, for the nightcap at around 11 to 12, my dad's side of the family was the last people standing. And I'm just like, they came in literal shifts. Like we were a freaking restaurant. I was like, Ma, you should have charged money. We would have paid for all the food. Thankfully, most of it was gone, so we didn't have much to put away. But still, I was just like, they came in like a bunch of gangbusters. They came in like how the ants in that, like the grasshoppers in the ant story in A Bug's Life came in, eat the food, and then leave.
Well, let's not forget when folks was criticizing me because they're like, you don't have any peach cobbler. You don't. It's 11 o'clock at night. And you know me, after a certain time, especially my kids and my siblings and my cousins, oh, y'all want to go ahead and take it. Because I'm like, who's coming after this time to eat? You done already been to 5 or 6 other people's houses. If you come in here at this point, I'm thinking you just come in here to see me. Have a little lemonade, have a glass of wine, something like that. But remember when they was complaining, oh, you ain't got no desserts left. You ain't got this. No. It's 11 o'clock. Be happy to open the door. And I didn't peace be still you like Medea. Now there are a few blind reacts left, but we're mixing something up this weekend because it is a holiday weekend. I'm gonna save a few of these for Sunday. So after we discuss the anime version of The Count of Monte Cristo, we're gonna have a little laugh, a little jokey joke, and go through them. I'm just breaking them up. So if you didn't see something that you submitted, do not think that I forgot or got lost in the sauce or anything like that. I'm just breaking it up a little bit. Just, to spread the content around that's all. Because sometimes on Childhood Rewind, we have enough that takes us through the full hour, and sometimes we don't. And I heard you all's feedback, and you did not like us only being gone for 30 minutes on Sunday. So my apologies. I was just giving you what we had.
Oh, they didn't? Girl, why didn't you say something?
Because let's not forget, I've been battling that migraine all week. So I finally got a chance to get into those emails today. And yeah, so my apologies. We're going to get into final thoughts real quick, but I just want to let you all know when I wrap here, give me about 10 minutes. If you follow me on Instagram, we will be continuing the conversation. Me, King Kane Allen, and a host of other people. If you were there when we were rudely interrupted and that woman was being disrespectful, we're going to continue that conversation about why, public accountability is so necessary on social media and why it's not cool to be racist and disrespectful on social media. But final thoughts, cousin?
Again, if you have not, and I'm going to keep saying this during every time I'm on here, and I'm pretty sure she is too. If you have not gotten yourself registered to vote this coming November, please get your as Sheldon would say, get your women in line. Because I am not going to be going back to the 1800s where I got to be toting that barge and lifting that bale.
And if you need any assistance with that, you can contact the Human Rights Campaign or shoot me an email at asktaz77, the number 7 at gmail.com, or hit me up in my Instagram DM. Please don't send me any more DMs on TikTok. My TikTok DMs are so flooded. I'm trying to get caught up, but it is difficult. And Instagram lets me be able to prioritize them, and they show me them in order, because I'm running into a lot of TikTok just shows me the last person who did it, and then I try to address them, and people are like getting butthurt, like, "Oh, you put them above me." I'm not. We know TikTok doesn't really give you an order. But your best method is just to email me. Email is also in my link tree. Once again, it's asktaz77 at gmail.com. That is the best way to do it. And I can help you get registered make sure that you're registered properly. And I have a meeting on Tuesday with a grassroots organization that I've been a part of for quite a few years that has headquarters in several states that also helps people with that, especially members of the LGBTQIA plus community. So if you need assistance, and also if you have not gotten yourself tested, hit me up and I can help you get resources to get tested to make sure that you're good and healthy. But make sure you join us tomorrow at 7:30. I might be a little delayed. Actually, let's just say we'll meet at 8 o'clock tomorrow instead of our normal 7:30.
That's fine.
Because this weekend I got to cross what I call the blow up bridge too many times. So I'm going to need a moment to compose myself. So, as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. And y'all know how I do. I always gotta have something for y'all. Here we go.
Gotta do is ask me, and I can make you look classy. Second night you walk past me, I turned the whip around, I had to get you in my backseat. They call me Mr. Plenty. Check the leather on the Bentley. Show your friends will get friendly. Maybe I could be your sugar daddy, yeah. Cause I'm all about money.